or a bear?
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear?
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a new start of the week. So before I get into the main video, like the thumbnail, I wanted to check out this video. I had a subscriber mention his channel. I've seen some clips of him, and I thought it was interesting, but I've never fully watched a full video of his. So I wanted to check it out. You know, why not watch it with you guys? This is Psych Hacks. Right? So let's check it out.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is the two relationships. Once you understand this concept, you'll have a much easier time navigating intersexual relationships. Fail to understand it or insist that it should be otherwise, and you'll wind up feeling bewildered, frustrated, and disappointed. It kind of goes like this. Every relationship is actually two relationships. That is, the relationship actually exists on two different levels simultaneously. Once you perceive these two levels and understand the differences between them, you'll be able to get more of what you want more easily from others. So, what are these two levels? The first we can call the level of the label. This has to do with the explicitly negotiated structure of a relationship. And as we'll see, this is the more superficial level of the two. For example, when people say, "This is my boyfriend," or "This is my wife," they're actually abiding at the level of the label. This is the relationship the individuals have consciously decided to enter into, and it's upheld by rules and contracts and boundaries and things like that. Now, the important thing to appreciate here is that there is nothing emotional about the structure of a relationship. This is the level of negotiated self-interest, of privileges and responsibilities, of roles and expectations. This is what you get after you sign the contract or define the relationship. However, there's another level to every relationship. It's actually a deeper level, a more vital level. It's also a more chaotic and uncertain level, which is why so many people prefer to reside at the level of the label and to use that as a proxy for the deeper relationship. We can call this second level the level of the bond, or the felt connection to another person. As cannot be repeated enough, these two things are not the same. Millions of people are married to those they don't really feel much for, and millions more feel a lot for people they're not married to. Do you understand? Of course, ideally, you have both at more or less equal intensity. You have a vital emotional connection with another human being that is like protected and supported by the structure and boundaries of the relationship.
Yo, Renegade, thank you for stopping by, bro.
Or, on the other hand, you have a non-existent relationship with someone you feel nothing for. In both cases, the structure of the relationship is elaborated to match the intensity of the bond. However, life is far from ideal. In my experience, it's far more common for these two levels to be out of balance in any given relationship. There are a lot of people walking around today who believe that just because they have a girlfriend or a husband, that is, just because they have a relationship with a label, that they are naturally and perpetually entitled to all the benefits and privileges that come with the emotional connection. This is not true. For better or worse, for example, you do not need to love your spouse to to get married. You don't. Happens every day. But you do have to sign the marriage license to get married. The problems arise when people expect that having signed the marriage license, that they are now entitled to love, or conversely, that having loved, that they are now entitled to the marriage license. Two very different things. When the commitment serves as a proxy for the bond, then the felt connection suffocates and dies. And this will either cause your relationship to fall apart or...
I mean, a little bit, it's like, it's very psychobabble, but I mean, I'm trying to understand it. Okay? It is very intriguing. This academic mindset. And I try to, I like watching certain things like this. I haven't watched this, or him in particular, but I like watching things like this to hopefully increase my mental capacity, hopefully increase my understanding. But this is the thing where the things he says, okay, knowing that yes, you could marry someone that you don't love. You could love someone that you won't marry, or that it won't lead to marriage. This is the thing where, with all those kind of scenarios, this is the thing where I believe in, where it's taken me years to improve on communication. And in the way that I'm talking about, this is the thing where I want more men to improve on, is communication of how you feel, of your emotions, of your opinions, your thoughts. Okay, this is the problem where what we're having in the dating landscape, where men are not expressing themselves, one, accurately, or even at all. Okay, and that is the problem we're having a lot of times, where you may get into a point where you are feeling settled for, i.e. getting married with no love in it, where she's marrying you, she's settling for you, she doesn't love you, she sees you as just a secure, a man that's secure, right? A man that's financially secure or whatever. So she's just settling for you. Or you're with a woman that you don't want to marry. You love her, but you don't want to marry her. She doesn't know that. She doesn't think like that. So she doesn't know the dynamic of the relationship. This is all things what I'm saying is that all of us, especially I think men, we need to improve on how to communicate. How to communicate our feelings, our thoughts. One of the things that I love doing this channel is that it's actually helped me communicate so much more. I try to be as blunt, but as thoroughly blunt as I can, right? When I'm gonna say how I feel, tell you my thoughts, and be upfront. So I don't want a woman that's subtle for me, but I don't want a woman that thinks the relationship is going somewhere where I didn't plan it to go.
Or even worse, to become your prison. The joyless dischargement of duty for which death is the only release. The reason why this doesn't work, as I've said, is that every relationship is actually two relationships. Entering into the one entitles you to the other about as much as entering into a professional relationship with a business partner entitles you to a new best friend. If the two coincide, it's more of a fortunate accident than a foregone conclusion. As a result, it's much safer to consider the two as they exist in reality, functionally independent of each other. If you appreciate the insights on this channel, I would sacrifices for the people they love, in with another person, and to forego the label. Why? Because it's feeling that motivates action. people will do all kinds of things and make all kinds of sacrifices for the people they love, irrespective of whether those actions are reciprocated, irrespective of whether they're even in a relationship with the person in question. If a man runs into a burning building to save his wife, it's because he loves her, and she just happens to be his wife. It's not the duty of the label that motivates action. He would do the same if he loved her and he wasn't married to her. Hell, she could even be married to someone else, and he'll still do it. That's the power of love. By the same token, a woman is much more likely to stay loyal to the man she loves, whether or not that's her husband. This is because, as I discuss in my book, things like loyalty and love.
That's why I think that. Well, let's let him finish that.
Love are non-transactable goods. They cannot be bought or earned, and they laugh in the face of boundaries and restrictions.
That is why, okay, I feel that men have a huge desire for love. I think that's why a lot of men have a huge desire for love. Where I've heard this before, and I agree with it, that men are more romantic than women. Because men want to be loved. Men want love. Because it's such a, in my opinion, if a woman actually, truly loves you, she's loyal to you. She's loyal to you. And men want that. She treats you a certain way. She treats you differently. When she truly loves you, she's ride or die. You know, and that's why I think a lot of men desire that love. That's why you wonder when men feel like they're being settled for, there's no love there. She's just, you're there, I'll take it. I'm not attracted to you. I don't really want you, but you know what? You're there, I'll take it. That's why men are destroyed when they hear that, when they know that they've been settled for.
This is why they have nothing to do with the label. They have no place in the explicitly negotiated dimension of the relationship. If you want things like love and loyalty and dedication and enthusiasm, then you will get more of what you want by prioritizing the level of the bond in any given relationship. So why don't more people do so? Because the felt emotional connection is unstable. It's like the weather. Always changing, always fluctuating. Unlike a commitment, which can be made once and for all, it never doesn't require effort and attention. So it can be expensive and exhausting to monitor and maintain over time. As a result, as a relationship progresses, people tend to lean more and more on the structure. You can kind of think of it as a cost-saving heuristic. It requires much less time and effort and attention to preserve a structure than to nurture a living, changing bond. However, one of the liabilities of the overuse of this heuristic is that people end up policing their boundaries at the expense of cultivating the connection. Husbands shouldn't do that. This is how a girlfriend should act. Do you understand? On the other hand, if these people were to prioritize the felt emotional connection, if their husbands and girlfriends felt a lot of love for them, then they probably wouldn't need to lecture their partners with respect to what they should or should not be doing. In so doing, they turn into parents or detectives or wardens, and they all.
That is why men also care about respect. But men want love, but they care about respect. Because men know that love can be fleeting. And then love, I mean, it can disappear, it can fluctuate. Men would hope respect would hold that thing, because then you would honor somebody. Because this is a thing where I'm in all for where men do not be doormats. Have some backbone. Because let's say this, and I've been watching these like videos of women saying, "Oh, I want an open relationship." Boom, done. No talk about it. No, no closure. You want an open relationship? We're done. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to, have an argument about this. This is the thing this is a problem where I believe men don't need closure. You don't need closure. She wants to leave? Cool. She wants to cheat? Cool. She wants an open relationship? Cool. We're done. No closure needed. No explanation. No fight. No explanation. This is a thing where if she cheated on you, fine. No fight. You don't need to fight with her. You don't need to fight with her. You don't need to fight with a man. Just leave. Because the best revenge, okay, best revenge is you improving yourself. You not needing her. You improving your life. Your life is better without her. That's the best revenge. And the best what is it? A great indicator of who you are is that you're not going to stoop down to her level by being emotional, by being irrational, by being in your feelings, being in your emotions, and acting in it, getting violent, getting all this stuff. Don't need it.
Often feel hurt and betrayed when their partners, often eventually, decide to follow their emotions right out of that relationship in spite of their explicit agreements. Those who don't want to put in the effort to kindle and maintain that emotional connection often lose by getting what they want, the label. Consider the extreme example: an absence of emotion, but complete obedience to the structure of the relationship. This is a robot, like a drone discharging a joyless obligation. Who could possibly be happy about having a partner like that? Like, even the Stepford wives needed to be programmed to convey emotion. You know what I'm saying? Believing that a relationship on one level entitles you to a relationship on the other is actually an abnegation of responsibility. On the other hand, those who attend to that emotional dimension generally don't have to worry about the label. This is because people are going to be loyal and devoted to the people that they love. Their behavior more or less follows their heart. Like, people can resist their hearts, but they can't resist it without doing some degree of violence to themselves. They're either going to resist until they can't, or they're going to have to anesthetize or remove that part of themselves. And that kind of surgery is going to come with other consequences for a person's emotional economy as well. Take care of the felt emotional connection, and the structure often takes care of itself, but generally not the other way around. What do you think? Does this fit with you?
Interesting. I'll probably have to watch more of him on my own just to, if he gives me any kind of enlightenment. I always like to watch certain things that hopefully I gain some enlightenment from. Okay, so maybe I'll get some watching his content a little bit more. So yes, so let's get started with the video on the thumbnail. It's Nick Cannon talking to Candace Owens. I really like Candace Owens, so I think she's cool. I think she makes a lot of sense a lot of times. So let's check it out.
Hearing the truth.
But I don't think there's this ultimate puppet master. I've looked for the group. I can't find that physical group.
Well, I'm telling you that the CIA is a part of a group and a global conspiracy to control, to enslave mankind. I will not accept. The conspiracy to me is to try to convince me that the times have changed, and we went from, in the Black community, producing Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to what really Black people really want to hear right now is Sexy Red.
Session 2. Hopefully some healing from the fire that we started in session 1 with Candace Owens. My goal is focus on compassion. Let's lead with love. Let's go. Back again on another edition of Council Culture, a brave space, a safe place, people that you speak on, and you do it in such a fearless way. How do you get away with that?
Well, the first thing is I know enough about history to know that if they want to kill you, the Secret Service ain't going to stop them. That's the first part. You know what I mean? If that was a thing, then JFK would be alive, right? If that was a thing, Trump wouldn't have gotten shot. And so it's almost to me, the security part is vanity for other people. It doesn't actually make a difference. But the second thing is, I have faith in God. I know God is real. So there is this understanding that I'm always operating with, that this is not it. And I feel sad for people that don't know that God is real, because I know that they don't believe God is real because of this intentional training that happened in the public school system. It's why your grandparents were faithful. Going back to Tucker Carlson clip where he's like, don't you think it's weird that since the dawn of humanity, everybody knew that spiritual forces were at play, goodness and evil were at play, every civilization. And then suddenly post-World War II in the West, we were like, no, God's not real. And they started training you to believe in yourself. And that gets into all types of satanic religions that want to drive you towards
Thank you for stopping by, bro.
humanism. They want that to be the ultimate faith, to place your faith in humans, to place your faith in science, and to not believe in God, like literally to not believe in God. And people, it's funny to me because they will be like, I don't believe in God, like, and they think it's a rational position to have, but these will be the same people that believe so much in government. Like atheists are the most faithful people in the entire world. They will, like what I'm saying, hopping on one foot for COVID, trying to stay alive. They don't ask any questions, roll up their sleeve, get a vaccine. I'm like, bro, you got faith. It's just in humans, like, you know.
I don't know if you guys watch my stuff, okay? I'm not really religious. I'm not religious at all. I mean, I guess you can consider myself an atheist. But I'm not what Candace Owens is saying. I'm more logical. I don't really have a whole lot of belief in humans, okay? But this is my thing, is that I recognize humans. I didn't really care for the COVID shit. I didn't care for, all that stuff. So I don't really believe in the government. No. So I just like I don't label myself anything, but just because some people that don't believe in God are, batshit crazy doesn't mean everyone. Just like some Christians that believe in God are batshit crazy doesn't mean everyone. So
in the ultimate form, scientism, and they've realized that, and they know that they can control you. I mean, the stuff that you see people doing, it should make you very aware that they have faith, that there is no such thing as atheism. There's just faith in man.
Yeah, you've definitely spoken out that you're, anti-scientism, and scientism being the religion of science. But most people who rely and believe in science look at people who believe in God and spirituality as kooks and also slaves to, you're just going to go with these traditional rituals that have been placed in books and theories that really are based off of allegories. I'd rather go based off of scientific evidence of things that have been proven. Yeah. What do you say to that?
I think that they probably should know that the Enlightenment was not enlightened. It was the darkening of mankind. The Dark Ages were not dark. They were actually an age of tremendous Christian enlightenment, and all of that stuff has been intentionally buried. And they are very much focused, moving the Bible out of the classroom. It used to be taught, and they want you to believe in nothing other than what they tell you. If you think, and I'll just give you just a perfect example. My children are not vaxxed. I am anti-vax, whatever name the science people are coming up with.
Right.
And it's just stunning to me that they were able to convince people that their babies are born wrong. Like, as soon as your baby comes out, science can fix it. Like, what do you mean? My baby just came out. You're talking about, well, they instantly need a Hep B vaccine. Wait a second, isn't hepatitis B, like, isn't that an STD? Yes, but they need this because, I'm like, this makes zero sense. You're just in the cult of science. It's stupid. The idea that God got it wrong, it's wild. And the funny thing is that the logic that they will apply to themselves for listening to science, they wouldn't even apply it to an animal. Like, if they were suddenly like, every lion that's born, or every lion that's born, we have to intervene and do something, PETA would be outside tomorrow freaking out, like, leave them naturally in their, but us, forget it. They legitimately believe that vaccines are keeping their babies alive from the second they come out. That's scientism. That's a cult, right? You are part of a cult and a religion, and you don't understand the science of it at all.
Now, I'm not saying that I understand the science of it all. How I look at it is that other animals have different immune systems than human beings. Like hypothetically, if a human being, if a human being of, let's say, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, jump into the world today, they will be inundated by so many different kind of viruses, so many different kind of I don't know, what is it? Just all these kind of viruses, poisons, whatever, polio, all this shit. So, what I believe is, again, I'm not saying I know this all that well, but what I believe is that it's just to inundate us with actual immunity to certain things. Now, I'm not saying that I know it all, but I think that's the basis of it. But I do agree that we put so many different kind of vaccinations and all that stuff into ourselves. I question it a lot. I do question it a lot. So I don't disagree with certain things. Like, I always think it's amazing that my mom, or I've heard other people, like every season they get the flu shot. Do you not understand that they're just pumping the flu virus into you so that you can, I don't know, be immune to the current flu? But you will have to do that continuously every year or every season. It's like, then what's the purpose? You might as well just take it. You might as well just, if you're going to get sick. Because I've seen a lot of times when you get the flu shot, you get sick anyway. So you know what? You might as well get sick and have your own body strengthen itself towards the flu and shit like that. So I do understand what Ken is saying in a certain way. Yo, dude, much better. No more phone noises. Cool.
I debate when I say people will call me an anti-vaxxer, I invite them on my show. They never come. The doctors, they never come. I'm like, I know how you get paid. I know every child is a check for you if they go through this system and they keep it, and it's all being funded by Big Pharma. And it is my belief that all of these pollutions, again, because I know that the spirit is real, that all of it is to pull you further away from what would actually be a very natural recognition within yourself. Like you would feel that normally, you would feel this spiritual draw, this spiritual incline. They've lied to you. COVID, you should apply that logic and know that that system of lying was part of a group and a global conspiracy to enslave mankind. So let's just go small picture here. The CIA.
Thank you, deep thinker. Thank you for stopping by, bro.
Definitively.
Okay.
Definitively is a part of the small group of people that are controlling
So
things,
then the CIA
well.
technically is bipartisan, right?
They're not bipartisan. That's the whole point. That they are not Democrat or Republican. This is like
They
the
could care
gang.
less, yeah.
This is the gang that won. And you know what he said before he got shot in Dallas next to his wife as he was going down the street that day? JFK said he was going to scatter the CIA into a million pieces because it was corrupt. And then unfortunately, he was involved in an accident. And that accident was he was shot. And the person who shot him said, I didn't shoot him. That was Lee Harvey Oswald. But then before he could testify about what did or not happen, he was killed by a man named Jacob Rubenstein. And that guy, believe it or not, was MK Ultra'd. Before he could stand trial, he was deemed insane because a doctor working for the CIA went in there and gave him a cocktail of medicine to make him crazy. Now, what's funny about this is Kanye told me years ago, because I am not a person, I have to learn things in a book. I need to order the right books. I love to read. But he said something to me, and it sounded wild when he said it to me, that they like made him bipolar. I think he said that, and I don't want to misquote him, but he said something like they made me bipolar, and he was on one of his rants, and it was difficult for me to kind of discern what he meant. And I was there with him when Harley Pashnik was texting him like a totally normal trainer saying, we're going to put you back into a hospital and you'll never see your kids again. Totally normal for your gym trainer to be saying that to you. Totally normal stuff. I think he's an issue. But anyways, he had said that, and that did not make sense to me. I don't want to say it sounded crazy. It just didn't make sense to me. Then I read that book, Chaos. And that guy who got the FOIA requests and declassified the documents and read the conversations between the heads of the CIA on the Manson murder.
Okay, what's up? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I mean, you can watch the channel. I mean, it's there. My thing is like, I said this a little while ago, is that how I see is that you could go watch these videos that I'm watching, okay? How I would like to go about is that, do you watching it alone, or like what I deem as the concept of my channel is that watch it with your bro. Watch it with your bro. We talk about it. Well, we give our thoughts, because like hopefully you watch things. Maybe you get my commentary if you thought it was cool, you like it. Maybe you like my thoughts on it, or maybe you share your thoughts and I talk about what you're thinking. So it's more like, let's watch something together rather than let's watch things alone. But that's, again, yes, you could watch practically every video you see on my channel. You could just go watch it by yourself. Definitely. I'm in all for it. You want to watch these videos by yourself, you could. But the difference is, how I see is that, why? You could watch it with me and we'll just talk about it and we'll just share our thoughts and opinions on it. So, whether you do it or not, it's up to you.
And he was like, oh, it's going to be so boring. I've tapped this 1,000. I want to live here because I believe that they obviously do have LAPD police officers that are working for them. And a lot of the stuff that Kanye was saying that didn't make sense now makes perfect sense to me. But now I have okay, I read this book and I've seen the files, and thankfully this journalist, that was my instinct. I was like, this is not Black music. Why am I hearing what sounds demonic coming out of people's mouths and what they're speaking about? And some artists have spoken out about the fact that they're being told to produce demonic music.
See, and again, I'm glad you brought that up. And the overarching, I believe either you said something like this in the past, but I know I'm paraphrasing here, that
I do think some of it's over the top. I do think it's some of them over the top, saying someone made Kanye bipolar, or some of the conspiracy theories is like, I mean, they're conspiracy theories for a reason. They're not, they may be true, but there's no actual basis for it. So,
probably believe the same thing, that ignorance, fear, and confusion is the devil's dominion in that sense. So that's where we're easily controlled, when we don't know, when we're scared, or when we're confused. And a lot of what I hear you saying is that it's not rooted in what we would deem as factual. Like you're an avid reader like me. Like I'll read anything and try to understand it, but it's also like, all right, well, show me the evidence, which normally is like science, of that there are people controlling us through our music. Now, as a faith, based individual and someone I truly believe in spiritual warfare, I at least for my own psyche, I can say, okay, I see what's happening in Black music and in hip hop. I don't think there's a secret meeting going on that, and I've even heard about the secret meeting. I'm like, why? I want to know who was in those meetings that they were saying, I need you to say all of the horrible things about Black men and Black women. I need you to put satanic influences into songs and signs and symbolism. Like, to me, that is an energy that, or a spirit that can come upon people to make you want to do that, especially.
My kind of point of view about how the current landscape of, like, let's say, Black entertainment, and I consume it too, and I watch it sometimes, is that I think we are going too far. We're going off the deep end, in a sense, where we're pushing the boundaries too much, because I think a lot of times we're already desensitized to a lot of things, so the button is being pushed. The dangers of social media is that we've seen it all, we've done it all. So the more outrageous you can be, the better you are. The better, kind of the better you are. Where you get more, you got to be even more ratchet, even more ghetto, even more gangster, even just like you got to push the buttons even more, because it was like that maybe in the 90s, a little bit in the 2000s, but we've been desensitized to it. It's not enough. it's not getting noticed enough because there's so much content, so much out there that you're not gonna get noticed. So that's why I think, you know, people like I guess you see maybe like Sexy Red or people like that like you gotta like be really raunchy, really off the wall just to get noticed, just to get your name or your video noticed and talked about. So I don't think it's conspiracy theory or people trying to oh, I need you to be demonic. I need you, but it's like we need you to we're put money on you. We give you money. We need to get a payoff. Our investment in you have to pay off. So you're not good artists. So what you gotta do is you gotta be a talked about artist. I think that's the culture we are right now in the entertainment industry because record sales aren't there. You know, we ain't getting superstars anymore. We're getting like just people that are very weak. Okay, artists that barely get noticed. So I think controversy is the thing.
Based off of their circumstances. If all I know is pain, strife, anger, hate.
Yo, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, that is my doctor. And forever my doctor. That is who it. Deep thinker. Ever watched Doctor Who? Once you push the boundaries, had to literally make the show so crazy, insurmountable, and yet he wins. Always turns it around. Many shows now mimic that. This is a thing where honestly, we always got. It's like, I think human beings, right? Human beings, especially nowadays, there's so much content. So we definitely have to push things. And I think it's like we're on a slippery slope with how much we got to push things. But yes, Doctor Who, that's my boy.
I'm going to now, you know, put that back out or regurgitate that to my own community. And that in itself is a cycle of darkness and low frequency that we can be removed from. But to say that there's like these secret people coming in and telling us,
I don't think they're secret. I don't think they're secret at all. And there have been multiple artists that have spoken out and said that producers have encouraged them to.
But yeah, that's an individual.
But is that not to believe them?
That's an individual. So
sure,
because like I said, I can find the devil, and I can find the devil in gospel music if I wanted to. But I can also say I can find the God, I can find the good in every aspect, whether it's Hollywood or not. Like there's multiple things where if we even understand what entertainment was designed for, it ultimately is to relieve us of the stresses that everyday life brings upon us.
Right.
So again, you operate each and every day in a space of like, look, I'm on the front lines and I'm literally trying to help people understand and get clarity and hear the truth. But when that becomes confusing or it becomes rhetoric, and now I just see people with great brilliance just arguing back and forth about things that ultimately are not creating any gain for either one of the individuals, except for maybe ego to say, oh, I was right, or oh, I read this. Like knowing your position and knowing what you can offer to the world, how do you differentiate between like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna do nothing but speak, you know, against, you know, the trans community, or I'm gonna speak against Black Lives Matter, or whatever at the moment where you can say clearly you're brilliant enough to be like, all right, I don't have to go out there with my sword swinging. I can take a softer approach. I can accept, I can love everyone, give everyone an opportunity, and still get the same message across, because like you just said, goodness is ultimately going to be the one that prevails, if you truly believe that.
Yeah, well, goodness prevails when good speaks out. We can't just sit back and do nothing when we see it, and we have to call it like we see it.
You're gonna be like Peter and just go cut everybody's ear off.
Yeah, I'm not even.
but Jesus was like, Peter, fall back, give my man his ear because he needs to hear this process.
I think It's interesting because I don't find myself to be offensive. I just think people,
Everybody else does.
I know. That is correct. And I think the reason for that is because people don't like hearing the truth. And I think it's because they know it's the truth deep down and they have like a visceral response.
And I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you until we start jumping into these spaces that sound very conspiracy theory. I used to be that guy. I was that guy that was like, they're trying to tear us down. And then to your point, which you often speak of, that becomes a victim-like mentality. So my message started to often being like, yes, the world's fucked up. Yes, there's so many, there's more enemies than we know. But I know the God within me and the God that I serve is gonna have them all fall into my feet when I walk into the room, because I know the energy that I possess.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't have to come in guns blazing, because if we know the truth and we know ultimately that goodness will prevail, then why can't I lead with love and cut them off with compassion?
Well, I just don't think it's guns a-blazing to say, you know, only women can give birth. And that's what I'll say, and people will lose their minds. Like that, I will
But
be
you'll
like,
say that in a setting of people who can't give birth.
But my point is just that it's just the truth. I'm not even here like, I'm not showing up where people are at and in their faces. They just don't know how to accept my audacity to just keep saying the truth. That is what, because I've thought about this. What is it about me that people are so triggered by? And it's my audacity.
Right.
Because we live in a world where people will bend to the spirit of evil. They will bend to the spirit of nonsense. They will allow every part of their reason to be stripped away so that they can fit in. And again, this gets into, and this is not conspiracy. In fact, we should stop using the word conspiracy theorist, because we know that was a CIA term that they entered into the lexicon following the shooting of JFK. So they say the word conspiracy theory. That's
well, the theory is the only thing that's the problem. The conspiracy to conspire is not an issue.
Yeah, but that is the truth. And that is why we should just call it out when we see it. This is what's happening. These people are conspiring. Like, that's what I do. And here's a document you can look at to see when they've done it in the past, and this is what's happening now. And I also listen to people. I don't gaslight people. So if an artist comes to me and says, I've been told to record something demonic, or I had a conversation with Amber Rose, and she a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of her telling me that she was basically just being pushed by people that you need to be more sexual, you need to be more sexual. I accept that obviously at a certain point, and this gets into why you were saying why I won't bend for money, I wouldn't do it. I'm built different, you know? But I also acknowledge that these people are being pushed in a certain direction. Women, you're being told, can you make it sexier? I will not accept. The conspiracy to me is to try to convince me that the times have changed, and we went from, in the Black community, producing Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to what really Black people really...
You know what she was talking about, just a little bit there. How, just exactly what I said. People are pushing, there's certain people are pushing you to be sexier, be more edgy, be da-da-da. Okay, that's life. That's how entertainment, that's how the entertainment industry has always been. It's not like, you know, don't be a child. That's nothing new. Where I like to come in my sense, where I have the audacity to hold people accountable for their actions. Like people like the Amber Rose, right? What she just said. The Amber Rose, though, that girl that has the bald head, that got with Kanye, has a tattoo on her fucking forehead. Okay. People behind the scenes were telling you to be more sexy, be more edgy. Yeah, so what? You chose to do it. You chose to do it. So I'm always this is the thing where I may be more controversial about. I don't blame the abuser. I will blame the victim. As much as people hate me for that, right? Victim blame and shit like that. Because here's the thing, how I do this, how I go about things, is that why I don't blame the abuser, but I will blame the victim, is that there are shitty people out there. I.e., let's say the music industry. There are CEOs behind the scenes that are trying to make money off of you. Surprise, surprise. That's not surprising at all. There are people out there that are abusive, that are toxic, that are dangerous. that are players, bad boys. They're cheaters, they're liars, they're abusers. There's no surprise to that. There's no surprise to that. What does surprise me is that you chose that person. You chose to be with that person. What surprised me is that you chose to give your body to that person. What surprised me is that you chose to give children to that person. That's what surprised me. What surprised me is that people like Amber Rose chose to agree to sell her body, right, to the world or lower her morality for money. Because, yeah, then you have nothing to stand on. Right? This is the thing where people say stop victim blaming. But the problem is that we are not fixing or we're not trying to fix the problem. We're just trying to put a Band-Aid over it. We're not trying to stop the wound from ever happening at all. We're just putting a Band-Aid when the wound had already came. Right? When you already got the wound. This is the thing where, oh, stop victim blaming. Stop blaming the victim of, that gets abused. But here's the thing. I think we should blame the victim. Controversial. I think we should. Because honestly, they chose these men. They chose these bad people. They chose to do these things with their life. No one forced them. No one forced them. So at the end of the day, you do adult shit, you're going to get adult problems. So that's how I go about it.
Want to hear right now is Sexy Red. And so that's the reason why these record labels are going to Sexy Red and offering her a deal. I refuse to believe that. Okay, so yes, power is held by these labels when they go out, and I don't mean that as any disrespect to her. What I am saying is that frequencies are real.
Yes,
okay?
exactly.
Frequencies impact your spirit. You and I know that.
There's been brothels and strip clubs and stuff since the oldest profession
I'm talking about music.
So,
right?
okay, and like you said,
I'm talking, yes, and you are correct, but Confucius said, listen to the music.
And you'll be able to know the
and there's a reason for that.
Society.
He knew this. This Chinese philosopher knew this back when, and this people who, in my viewpoint, have a lot of power in the music industry also understand that. There is no reason to fight to put filth on the airways and then try to convince people that it's free speech.
Because it's
in fact,
profitable.
I will tell you a non-conspiracy that you can look up right now, and I'm going to blank on his name, but there is a guy, and if I grab my phone, I'll be able to look it up for you. Literally on his Wikipedia page, it literally says, we created
Yo, Parasocial, thank you for stopping by, bro.
Pornography, because I believe the eyes and the ears are the window to the soul, to crush Christianity. He said in an open statement, this is why we created pornography. This is why we and this was back in the 70s. He was the person that brought hard.
Again, I'm saying, like, I watched a few clips, so I thought this was going to be more interesting for me to talk about or react to. So I haven't watched this, so, it's not, I don't really care for the Christianity talk. I don't really care for the music talk. So I don't know how good this video will be. So excuse me if it's not that interesting.
Pouring to the scene. He was like, this is the reason why, to crush Christianity. He said this openly. So it's not a conspiracy when a person is telling you why they control the pornography industry and what they're trying to do. And it is against Christ. That's my belief. I believe, and that's why I say
in the life, there's a balance in that sense of, like, there's good and evil. So in that, why can't we just say, because you're talking spirituality, you're not talking individualism. You're not saying that this individual is looking to, or even like the man that you just described, he was saying he had such a vitriol response to organized religion or whatever, Catholicism, that he was saying, I'm going to do something in this space to therefore try to tear that down, which we know he can't tear it down because it's the ultimate power. It's the truth, the way, and the light. So we can point fingers at that individual, but you can't say that he's the one ultimately controlling all things evil just because he's the one that spoke out against
No, but I was
porn.
just saying that if I had not produced, this is one of the founders of pornography in America. So like, how did we get to this? How do we start from everyone's going to church, families are together, to now OnlyFans, right? Pornography was introduced into the American psyche for a reason, and it is in a war against your spirit. It is meant to disrupt your relationships. It's meant to...
That's kind of stupid. I mean, that's why they say that sex is the oldest profession. Or, you know what I'm saying. So really, it's whether someone introduced pornography or not, it's not going to change the course. I mean, that's why I don't really care for religion.
In high school, in health class, in sex ed, that it's healthy to watch a little bit of porn. Do you not see a conspiracy in that?
It's a little healthy to know what's going on.
No, it's not, because that's not what's going on. They're setting your tastes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. These are the taste makers. They are setting your tastes. This is not normal, and it's getting more and more deranged. So when you see this explosion of men that are homosexual, my husband has a theory that all pornography is homosexual porn because men are watching other men have sex with other women. But anyways, the point is that it's inspiring people to want more and more deranged, demented things. They pursue that. It is a demon that possesses you. And what they do is they very slowly introduced more demonic things. So it used to be, it's just pornography, a woman and a man having sex. At least it's a woman and a man having sex. Then it became like, it's going to be gay. Then it became, now it's going to be trans. Then it came, oh, she's going to dress up like she's 14 years old. That is introducing to the palate pedophilia. Okay? And that's the same thing. You have the quotation?
Is it the one that says the only reason that Jews are in pornography is that we think that Christ sucks?
Direct quotes.
But
Direct
that's
quote. So,
He has a lot of really wild quotes.
I know, but he's one of the founders, of the earliest people that brought hardcore pornography to America. So it's like, to me, it's so patronizing when people are like, it's a conspiracy, when he can just outwardly say what he was doing. He told you what he was doing. And listen, again, he's one person. Now, I think where
that's all I was saying, is just one person of him, or whether you bring up him or Margaret Sanger or whoever, the individuals that can have took something and demonized it.
But they brought it. It wasn't demonized. It is demonic. They brought something that was demonic to American culture that did not exist before it, with a very clear understanding of why he was bringing it.
So let's
then they fought to
thread
get
this
laws
thing.
passed to allow pornography, more freedom than it's ever reigned. So it's like, you can't ignore these steps.
So let's thread this thing, because I need to make this clear, because my ultimate thing where I was strongly disagreeing with you is that we were saying that there's this ultimate group of individuals, like whatever dude's name was, that are saying, oh, we're all conspiring together to bring evil to the world and to fight against Christ. Now, if there's just one sick
individual. It's not one sick individual. There's
and
a
they're
group.
all of it. They all in a group in a room together.
Not in a room together. They're like I believe, and this is after I did an episode on this, which people should watch, about the origins of NASA. Satanic, literal satanic. Okay, so you can't sit here and ignore the fact that literal Satanists, and I believe that it was this group of people. The religion was called.
This is kind of comedic. I don't necessarily agree with everything Candace Owens say, and this is a little bit ridiculous because it's getting very religious. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing with, let's say, the whole pornography thing. If it made no money, it would be gone. It all stems to capitalism. Period. If it made no money, it would be gone. So, yeah, that's why I was like, at the end of the day, it's not all this thing. So.
Called the Lima, Satan, having these sexual rituals right out here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena, and they were getting caught when the police would come over. They were being funded by universities. They were being funded by the government. The government gave him a deal to be able to do this. So again, the Gutenberg family, Guggenheim family also funded him in his experiment.
What's satanic, what's not. You know, even based off of all of the 40,000 different denominations of Christianity. There's certain things that we believe we can do that we can't do based off of our traditions and how we're picked up. But in ultimate, when we're in this current day and age, and we're sitting here and we're in cancel culture, and like I said, I was saying, like, there's gonna be some people that are like, oh, she's crazy, but then there's gonna be some people that are like, yo,
Wikipedia.
But they're saying, yo, we're scared of her. She's saying things that we have to silence her.
Mm-hmm. Well, this gets into your fears because you were canceled.
I was canceled. And like in a very similar thing. That's kind of what I was gonna bring up based off of what I learned. You know what I mean?
Did you learn, or were you like Kyrie Irving 6 steps back to your life type
Nah,
thing?
because to this day, I leaned into everything I said, from whether sitting with, Minister Farrakhan, who told me that if there's something that I said that wasn't true, do away with it. But if it's truth, continue to speak truth to power. And in that sense, I have a podcast with the CEO of the ADL, and Jonathan and I have difficult conversations and go back and forth, because it's like, if I believe something to be true and it's my truth, I don't care who hears it. Now, and to your point, and because it happened to you as well, where someone can take, we're sitting here, and because it's probably gonna happen with this interview.
100% with me.
We're sitting here and we're saying things in the goal to counsel people, but someone would take a clip and say you said this or said this like this. They're gonna be you called a certain group of people satanic, and
they literally said, like,
I'm just talking about what's gonna happen.
And by the way, I'd like calling them satanic because it's not Christianity, it's not Judaism, it's not Islam. Okay, that's important. They actually they're hiding within all of these religions, and they get people to react. So it's like, this dude obviously is not a follower of the Torah, right? He happens to be Jewish, but he's obviously not a follower of the Torah. No, like, a follower of the Torah would not be saying what he's saying.
Say that we're anti-Semitic, or to say that we're self-hating, or we've been broken, and all of the things, Uncle Tom's, where ultimately, like, and we said this in our last session, and I say this here, where I don't see in our exchange of energy and even discourse, I don't see someone hateful. I don't see someone with an agenda. What I learned through the process is, and it's funny, as a father, I learned this and deal with this with my son, is like, when you start throwing rocks and someone gets hit by a rock that you weren't intending to hit with that rock, you still gotta apologize. You still have to understand the power in which you have. Your voice is so strong. The words, the knowledge that you have, that if you, not even if you say it wrong, if you say it correctly, they're gonna dice it up and use it for evil. And in that sense, if you want to continue the mission of good, if you want to continue the mission of God, you have to you gotta rise to a higher frequency and say, you know what? I apologize that I hurt you. And
I can't do that. If I told the truth and you got hurt by it, I can't apologize.
Why?
I absolutely refuse to do that.
What is stopping the goodness in you?
Because then I would be lying. I'm never sorry when I tell someone the truth. I'm never sorry when I tell someone the truth. No.
You're a mother. I'm a mother,
yeah.
And you know your children's feelings.
We're not dealing with children. That's the problem. We're dealing with adults. Yeah. So the idea of me apologizing, and this is funny because I was texting earlier with Ray J. He saw a clip of me and Don Lemon, and he was.
I do hate. Sometimes this is the thing where, honestly, some people don't understand about. There's a difference between how you deal with children and how you should deal with adults. Like, kids' gloves mean something, right? Dealing with someone with kids' gloves means something. Why would it's like, why do I have to? This is the thing where the whole, I think it's always go back to, like, Kevin Samuels, like, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Why? You're not a child. What does my tone or the words or certain words I use mean it? It doesn't change what I said. It doesn't change the meaning of what I said. So just listen to the meaning of what I said. Because honestly, it goes with the tone police thing. Sometimes I hate the tone police shit. Because when you, usually how people go about it with the tone police thing is that they can't debate the argument. They can't counter the argument. So they just focus on the speaker. They focus on how the speaker speak or all this shit. So the tonal inflections or whatever, or certain words that were said instead of the whole sentence. It's just that it's a sign of, you just lost.
That's a hilarious clip. Just you texting with Ray J.
And Don Lemon was looking for an apology. Oh, this clip. And Don Lemon was looking for an apology, but Ray J, I guess, was saying that he knew some trans women, and I'm like,
he has a whole trans
Exactly.
network.
And it's
thing
just
anymore.
whatever he's doing there.
Which is weird. This is the part where why I kind of wanted to watch this. The whole first thing is like kind of ridiculous. That's why I skipped through a lot. So if you guys wanted to watch this, you guys could go and watch it. But I wasn't that interested. But this part was the clip I saw on TikTok, so I wanted to check it out. I thought it was a bit more interesting. I didn't realize how uninteresting pretty much the whole video was.
To me is
because I thought it was weird that Ray J has a whole trans network or something.
demonic. It's demonic. It's because it's a lie. Okay. And so I was like, yes, let's have a conversation. Of course, respectfully. If you say to me, you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the
your
truth.
Beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man, and a man cannot be a woman. It's not a belief.
But I'm saying in your perception of the world is different from someone else's perspective, because just as emphatic as you are, that you believe what you.
That's what I hate. Your perception of the world is different from someone else. Fine. But when someone's perception of the world, they try to make it your reality, that's where I'm going to say no. Reality is reality. I agree. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. Now, if you want to perceive your personal view of the world, your personal perception of the world, where there's fluidity, right? Non-binary, all that shit. Okay, you yourself want to perceive that, fine. But now when you tell me that I should perceive your kind of view, no. That where I don't agree with. I definitely wouldn't agree with that shit.
You just said there's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
Okay, so what you're talking about is the idea that everything can be subjective and there's no such thing as truth. And let me tell you why that. But that's why it's either a yes or a no.
No, because we're either talking about feelings or facts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I believe there is objective truth. Okay.
Okay.
A person that is born a man, okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it, okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth. I will not apologize for sharing objective truth. I'm not going to apologize for not saying because his feelings are hurt and do you see how I feel? Because
so you have no problem going throughout the world hurting people's feelings.
I have no problem going out the world. That's one way to pitch it. Telling people the truth so they can better their lives. So they can live in reality and not the one, not the fantasy land that they're creating for their lives. But what if someone
believes that is a better life for them?
Okay, well, let's play it your way then. Let's do it the other way. There are a group of people who are now referring to themselves as minor attracted people.
Oh, I knew you was going. Can't go there.
Hey, but that's what they believe. I thought this was they believe that they are in love and want to have sex with children. They believe that, Nick. They believe it. And are you going to apologize when you call them pedophiles? Are you going to apologize, Nick? Are you going to have them on your podcast?
It's a hell of
Don't
a
you
point.
understand how they feel on the inside when you say that they can't have sex with 8-year-olds?
That is a hell of a point.
It is.
That's why it's a slippery slope when you let people live in their delusions and hypocrisies. But definitely the boundaries are crossed when you let these same people that live in their delusions and hypocrisy put their delusions and hypocrisies on others. That's the thing where you're crossing the boundary.
The slippery slope is not a fallacy, it is reality. We are living the slippery slope. So somebody's gonna have to produce the wall. So there's gonna be a lot of voices that need to be objective and tell people the truth. I'm very happy to be those voices. If you're looking for me to, make you feel good, I can't be your mommy. I can't. That's why I tell people, I can't be your mommy.
But see, that's what I was saying. It's
I'm not your mommy. You're not a toddler. You're an adult.
But see,
this is what truth is. And if you can't deal with truth, then you're going to have a very tough life, way tougher than having to listen to Candace Owens say, you are a man on the internet.
So, but again, in your ultimate goal, what is your ultimate goal?
For my children to grow up in a world that is still dictated by reality and not feelings, because that's the thing. We are passing this world off. So you have to appreciate that we're now the adults. We're the adults in the room, right? And right now we have a bunch of adults who are too scared to even say the truth. So forget the generations who had to find within themselves the strength to go to a foreign country and potentially die fighting for freedom. We're now a generation where it's so easy for us to preserve freedom. It's so easy for us to preserve righteousness. We just have to be willing to be called mean names on the internet and have mean articles written about me. People say to me, "Oh, Candace, how do you deal with all this hate?" I don't care. Literally, I don't care. It's like I really hope people listening to this understand, before you even write that comment, how little of a shit I give about it. Like, I want you to know that when you're writing it, whatever about her.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I do. I mean, the last part, I'm on with her. I agree with her on that. But this video wasn't as interesting as I hoped it was. But it is what it is. That's how things are. You know, sometimes you find things are interesting, sometimes you don't. Let's jump ship. Let's jump ship and do some other videos. All right, let's jump ship and do some other videos. I'm gonna check out some other videos. Let's see if they're gonna be.
I am 44.
All right, so let's check out this clip. Let's check out these two clips. I have two clips of this woman, so let's check it out. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if it's gonna be good. Hopefully it is.
I am 44 years old and I am newly single after 24 years of marriage. I have been dating for the last few months, and let me tell you, it's wild out there, y'all. I'm already racking up some stories. I was thinking I might want to share a few of them here. Some things I've learned, some things that I've experienced, some things that I have thankfully not experienced because I realized it was a bad situation before I got myself into it. Of course, there's always the guys who tell me they're single and they're actually married. There's the guy with the Schmex machine. Yeah, I have a story that talks about something like that. Dating has been an adventure. It has been fun. It's been crazy. It's been healing. It's been validating. It's been exciting. There's been more good than bad, okay? But I'm racking up some stories. I would love to share them. Let me know if you want to hear more. I am for
a kind of a theory I have. Okay? And well, let's get off the bat. 44. Newly single after 24 years of marriage. Massive red flag. Massive red flag. It's like you're 44. I've said this before. It's either you picked or you're attracted to terrible men, or you're just hard to deal with. This is a woman that's been with a man for 24 years, at least with marriage. And then you still thought it was a good idea to now leave the marriage and enter the dating market. For what? Why? And in my probably controversial theory is that I think one of the most dangerous things when it comes to relationships with women is that boredom is the number one killing factor of relationships and marriages. Boredom. Not cheating, not finances, it's boredom. Women are bored. When women become bored, she will leave you so she can enter the dating market that is, you know what, honestly, shitty. Not that great. Why? So they can have stories, adventures. So now they can become, I don't know, TikTok famous or TikTok influencers. So they can share their adventures, their terrible stories, their terrible dating stories online. Right? So they can go through all these, interesting like stories and shit like that. And this is the thing where, because this is the new injection of, Instagram famous, or like just, living your life through social media, becoming an influencer, where, women are looking for content. What best way, what better way to get content is now entering the dating scene at 44.
34 years old, and I am newly single after 24 years of marriage. I have been dating for the last few months, and let me tell you, it's wild out there, y'all. I'm already racking up some stories. I was thinking I might want to share a few of them here. Some things I've learned, some things that I've experienced, some things that I have thankfully not experienced because I realized it was a bad situation before I got myself into it. Of course, there's always the guys who tell me they're single and they're actually married. There's the guy with...
It's like, this is a thing where, do you think that this is now a good idea to now experience all these different kind of relationships where you're going to gain all these kind of traumas, all these kind of bad experiences? It's like, this is a thing where women are so synonymous and like, you know what? I want to experience the world. Why? It's like, do you not realize the grass is not, it's rarely ever greener. It's just, sometimes it just amazes me that this is what women want to do. Break up a marriage to now experience bad relationships.
With the Schmex machine. Yeah, I have a story that talks about something like that. Dating has been an adventure. It has been fun.
That's the thing. That's the key thing that women want. They are bored with the men that they settled for. And bored with the men that they settled for. So now they would leave a relationship after years of it. After years of that relationship. So they can find adventure. Because they are controlled by their emotions. They want those dopamine highs. They want those dopamine highs.
It's been crazy. It's been healing. It's been validating. It's been exciting. There's been more good than bad, okay? But I'm racking up some stories. I would love to share them. Let me know if you want to hear more. Okay. I did not expect that video to blow up, but it did, and you're all wanting the stories, so let's start with the crazy one, okay? You ready for this? I matched on a dating app with a man. He lives in a college town that I am very well acquainted with, and he's the first older guy that I matched with. I'm 44, he's 51. I tend to date more guys that are my age or maybe a little bit younger. But it doesn't matter. He seemed really nice. Immediately had really great conversation. He told me that he works at the university. Not a professor, but he is faculty at the university. That is important information to know for later, okay? We quickly moved it over to text so that we could send pictures and things like that to each other. Just super innocent, really nice guy. He was a great communicator. I cannot stress that enough, and I was super attracted to that. Some people do not know how to hold a conversation even through text. We matched and we talked and talked and talked for like 3 days straight. And I was out of town at the time. And so the plan was on the Monday when I got back from my little trip that we would go on a date. I was going to drive all the way up to see him. We're going to go to dinner. I was supposed to be there at like 6 o'clock maybe on a Monday. I'm sitting at work at my office. And it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I get a text from him. And the text says, something has come up and it's probably going to affect our date. So I need to let you know what's going on. And you let me know if you still want to go on a date with me tonight. Okay? I said, okay, what's going on? He said, yesterday, as in Sunday, the day before our date, he said, I had a lady come over to my house. And we didn't do the deed, but we did a few things. He said the only thing that really happened, how do I say this? He did some things with her, okay? But supposedly he only did it to her. She did not return the favor, okay? And he said, that's all that happened, but she just texted me and told me that she has chlamydia. So, do you want to postpone our date? I was like, I think you need to like go to the doctor, whatever you need to do, and you need to take care of that. Clear.
This is better than marriage. This is what this 44-year-old woman left a 24-year marriage for. To go back in the dating scene and do this. Yeah.
Yourself up, all the things. Yeah, we need to postpone this date. We're canceling it, okay? The empathetic part of me then said to him, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That sucks. Sorry you were exposed to that. That's not fun. And then he decides to elaborate very in great detail. He says to me, yeah, I feel really bad for her because she's just a college girl. Remember how old he is? 51. Remember where he works? At the college. Important here. I said, oh, a college girl? And he said, yeah, she's only 19, but...
Oh, shit. Wow, well, he didn't even get to have sex with her. I guess he just ate her out. But I mean, that girl is like, seriously? You're 19. You're fine with an old man eating you out? It's like, I guess.
She really, really wanted to come over and try out my Schmex machine. Yeah. That supposedly made her very happy. Like it made her happy 8 times. Yes, that's how detailed he got after I empathized with his situation. He decided to elaborate way more than he should have. Here's the thing. I was immediately disgusted because that's like first of all, like a huge age difference. Yes, she is of legal age. And the fact that he is faculty, that he's telling these young, vulnerable college girls that are around him, hey, why don't you come to my house?
This is what you're attracting. This is what you're attracting. It's like, this is where I can never understand. Where it just goes back to it. You're 44. You left a 24-year marriage to go back to the dating market for this. This is what you wanted. That's why I question. That's why I see it as it must have been boredom. It had to have been boredom. It had to be your desire, okay, to, for the adventure, the stories you can tell. Because probably your marriage life was boring. So now this is how you get the excitement, the dopamine, right? The dopamine. And how to add to your dopamine high is through social media. Telling these stories so you can get those counts, those views up, so you get those dopamine highs.
I have this Schmex machine that you can try out. I don't even know if I responded. I think I just immediately blocked him on everything, repulsed at the whole situation. So yeah, I totally dodged that situation. Thank goodness. Because on paper, in his pictures, he looked like the most normal dude ever. That you would never in a million years think that they had that at their house. Then about a week after that, I got on a new dating app. Would you believe that same man had the audacity to swipe right on me again? I don't think so, sir. So yeah, there you go. There's story number 1. Okay.
This is why I this is a thing where, like I said, I honestly think women like this are red flags. I really do. Because I'm amazed why dating is so easy for you, yet you're back in the dating market. You failed at marriage. It's and this is amazing. He's like, what do you think you're gonna get out here? What do you? This is why I see women like this as only they are only trying to satiate their boredom. They're only trying to satiate their boredom. Because what do you think you're getting out in the dating market now? I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's check something out.
There was a guy that was sending me money.
I thought these two clips were pretty interesting. So let's check it out.
There was a guy that was sending me money and taking me out and stuff. And I was like, okay, like, we got a trick. I got really excited. Now he's saying, like, I'm not going to keep tricking if you're not going to give me any sugar. I don't want to do that. And it's just throwing me off because, like, I thought we were having a good time. I was really enjoying being wined and dined. Now he wants the sugar. And I don't know what to do. What are y'all doing when they're asking for the sugar part? Because I can't do it. I can't do it. There's a lot of things I could do, but I can't do the sugar part. There is a guy that was...
You're not a virgin, so you could. This is the thing where I find it really hilarious with women like this. And it's women like this is an example of why men are down in a sense. Where this is what you're doing, just spending money on women. Like, you're spending on women that don't even want you. They only see you as a dollar sign, as a wallet. This is the thing with a lot of, I don't know. This is why I find it really ridiculous with a lot of men, in a sense that, are you foolish? Like, these are the women, you're just spending money on these women for what? They don't want you. They see you as a trick. Just, someone that will spend money on, someone they can use. And that's why I think, that is why a lot of men have changed how they go about things. Where, you see it. This woman is a great example of why a lot of men are now doing coffee dates, walking dates, 50-50 dates, shit like that. Because this is the thing. They just want to use you. They just want to use you.
Sending me money and taking me out and stuff. And
and this woman is like, she has to look at, she's chubby cute. She's chubby cute. I'll give her that. I think she's chubby cute. But again, still a 5 in my opinion. The audacity, the entitlement to think it's cool to take a man's money and get sad that he doesn't want to use his money on you anymore without any payoff.
I was like, okay, like, we got a trick. I got really excited.
That's the thing. That's the thing where, honestly, that's why men have changed. That's why men aren't buying flowers for women. The whole chocolate thing. Aren't taking women on fancy dates, because that's how women see you. Oh, I could put your name in my phone as dinner date, as food, or as a trick. That's the thing.
Now he's saying, like, I'm not going to keep tricking if you're not going to give me any sugar. I don't want to do that. And it's just throwing me off because, like, I thought we were having a good time.
No, you thought you were having a good time, not we. Because just to spend money on you, who are you? You're no one special. You're average. And she's, like I said, she's chubby cute. So chubby cute is just average at best, in my opinion. That's that. Like, you're chubby, and we'll see. She's a pretty thick girl, you know. So that borderlines her on like a 5. Okay, I mean, if she didn't have the chubby cute for her, she'd probably be a 4. Okay, with how thick she is. But that's the thing where it's like, it's just like the women that think that men that will fly you out, you wouldn't realize that they wouldn't want to have sex with you. So you think that men will spend money on you for what? For your personality? Because it sounds like your personality is pretty entitled. For what? Your company? The company leads to something more.
Really enjoying being wined and dined. Now he wants the sugar. And I don't know what to do. What are y'all doing when they're asking for the sugar part? Because I can't do it. I can't do it. There's a lot of things I could do, but I can't do the sugar part. There is a...
What things you can do then? It's ridiculous.
Black women.
There.
He must be desperate to be giving you money. I went to your profile. You actually look like the guy. Like, you look just like him. And I feel like you're only saying what you're saying in my comments because I'm a little bit bigger. Because if I was a tad bit smaller, you wouldn't be saying that. But because I look like what I look like, you're making these comments. And it just makes me feel even more beautiful because you're mad. But, hey.
Who's mad? Why would anyone be mad that someone else is spending money on you but wants to stop spending money on you? And this is the thing where and she says in another video where people would think that if she's chubby, she should be more humbled. She should be more nice or treat people better. And she said that's not true, which I agree. It doesn't mean that. But the same token that, you know what? Fine. Your personality ain't that beautiful and you're not that good looking at all. So really, you have really nothing to offer. You really have nothing to offer besides a body, besides a whole. And this is the thing where a lot of women don't understand. Where honestly, they're not that good looking. Personality ain't that great. You gotta understand that why would that man spend money on you? Just so he can hit that hole. That's it. That is all you are. Because honestly, you're not that good looking. Like I said, she's chubby cute, like a 5. You know, thanks to like she, you know, her face, even though it's round, chubby, it fits kind of well. But that's it. Okay? Where honestly, you're not that pretty inside and out. So you can't be surprised that men, if they do spend money on you, all they want is the sex. And you can't even give that. So really, men need to wake up from that. This is the thing where, to be honest, or I personally have waken up from the whole spending, you know, a lot of money on women. If I've gone on dates with women, it's very inexpensive dates. You know, I still usually pay for it. So, but I ain't paying much for it. You know, I'll be happy with how much I pay. It's not that expensive, so it's not that much. So, but yes, a lot of men are now experiencing with it. You're not worth the money. You know, you're not worth the money, and you're not worth the effort. You're not worth the time. So if you don't show me that you are, well then, okay, cool. We're done. I'm not wasting any more of my money, my time, my effort on you. So even though the original guy was pretty stupid, because what it sounds like he was spending a good deal amount of money and time and effort on her, but good that he stopped. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought it was interesting. Things like this just shows the pure entitlement of average women. This is the thing where, like, if these women were like 8s, 9s, and 10s, okay, I get it. No wonder they're entitled. But with how society is how society is now, even the average women are just as entitled as the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. So they're no different. These women expect the most from men. They still expect perfection when they themselves are average at best. And I think that's the craziness right there. I think that's the craziness of it right there. Because these women they don't give much for men. There's not much to these women. Like I said, image ain't that great. Personality definitely ain't that great. So, what else besides a hole? So, I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. I think it was okay live today. You know, it is what it is. You know, thank you for people who stay by. Thank you people who checked it out. You know, Parasocial, Deep Think, Aurora Side. I'm not good with the names. Thank you for stopping by. Renegade, thank you for stopping by at the beginning. Again, some videos I'm just watching things. Okay, that's the thing where I hope a lot of you guys understand. How I see it is that I'm a reaction channel, and how I see it is like I hope that we can, instead of like, yes, you guys could watch these videos by yourself. Okay, you guys could, you know, go on YouTube, TikTok, and watch these videos on yourself. But how I see is that you watch it yourself and you're just talking to yourself. But maybe the difference is that, you know what? How about we're watching it together, like bros, like friends, okay? We're watching together, you know, and maybe you like my commentary, or maybe, you know, you want to talk about it with me, right? You say your thoughts, you know, your feelings on it, whatever you think about it, and we can, you know, talk about it together. That's how I see it. So I'm more saying that, yeah, you guys could watch these videos on your own, you know, these clips, these videos on your own. But, you know, for me, it's like, how I go about it is like, I think it's cool, sometimes cool that, you know what, maybe if I find someone that watches or they're watching things that I think is cool, or I think it's interesting, or I have something to say about it, and we'll talk about it together. Instead of, you know, watch it on your own and just thinking about it in your head and not say anything. So that's my little difference where, if you guys like my commentary, if you guys like to watch things with me and, you know, talk about you know, share your opinions on it, I think that's a cool little thing. But, you know, it is what it is. This is not no crazy ass original content or anything like that. You know, it's not like I have a room filled of women, so we're talking about questions and shit like that. That's not really my cup of tea. So, but if you guys like it, cool. If you guys don't, understandable. Okay, understandable. Besides that, I hope you guys do like it. I hope you guys do like my content. I hope you guys like, you know, spending time, you know, in the live with me, chilling, watching things together, listen to me ramble and rant and shit like that. I hope you guys like it. If you guys don't, understandable, like I said. But if you guys do, thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you guys like it. See you guys in the next live. Later, guys.